And, man, just from the neck up, I really like his mental makeup and just that pedigree of being a winner.
Quarterback time. Desmond Ridder, Cincinnati Bearcats, 6'0", 211, 10-inch hands, 4.52 verified, 80.67 consensus grade. He's right in here in this condensed bucket of the top tier of quarterbacks for us in this year's NFL draft. I know we could go around the room and probably get 3 different answers for QB1. You could go ask anybody in the space and you get 4 or 5 different answers for QB1. Not have to ask that many people to get there. So, Joe, would love for you to set the table on Desmond Ridder about the appeal of his game, why he has that resume to be in the conversation for QB1 in some people's eyes.
Well, I think the word you said there, resume, he's got the best resume of any quarterback in this class, and I don't think it's particularly close. And we think about this Cincinnati Bearcats program and the glow-up that it's had over the last several seasons. Right at the heart of that is Desmond Ridder playing quarterback and his evolution as a player where he started a lot of games for them, and I thought there's been a lot of maturation in terms of how he's embraced playing winning football year after year, and that culminated with what they were able to get done this year, undefeated going into the college football playoffs and played against Alabama. And so he's a guy that has good arm talent. I think he's a really good runner, a true dual-threat quarterback, an outstanding runner. And so I think about just what he offers to a team, and I feel like physically there's not really anything that he's missing. So he's a player that I don't know that this is a quarterback that you're going to draft and say he's going to throw the ball 40 times a game and this is going to be, just the catalyst for our offense. I think that what he can do is come in and be that missing link for an offense that can play winning football, make throws down the field, and really do things as a mobile quarterback as well to give yourself a pretty complete way in terms of how you can attack defenses. And so the resume's there, which means he started a lot of football games, he's played winning football, and he's been tested, right? He's played Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame, Indiana, UCLA, Boston College. He played at Cincinnati, but he played a lot of top competition, and I think he's met those moments really, really well. He didn't win every single one of those games, but he won a lot of them, and I thought he showed a lot of toughness along the way. So there's a lot to like about the makeup here and the skill set, despite some accuracy issues and things like that we'll get into.
I want to ask you a question to transition into the rest of the guys. Is Desmond Ridder a trailer or a truck?
Kind of in between, So I don't think it's definitive in either direction because I do think that there's enough there for him to be able to carry a team at times. But I also don't necessarily think that he's always going to be the reason why you win football games. And I thought him embracing that was really important in his growth, where Jerome Ford became a big part of that offense this year. And, they were able to get Josh Wiley at tight end and Alec Pierce, a wide receiver, going in the passing game. But at the same time, I'm not sure that he's going to be that player that's always going to elevate the supporting cast and you're going to win all the time just because you have him. So he's kind of like stuck in the middle for me.
What do you guys think? Trailer or truck, Desmond Ridder?
For me, I think he's a trailer. Let me just first say I was lower on Desmond Ridder throughout this whole process. And I recently came around to him after multiple rewatches. I understand what people see in him. The resume, as Joe mentioned, speaks for itself, but he stands tall in the pocket. He's an outstanding athlete. He has a big arm, can make all the throws. Some of his tight window ball placement is really, really good at times. The inconsistencies for me, I get hung up on because the accuracy, the ball placement, especially down the field, is very, very inconsistent. And where I struggle is this isn't a player who is inexperienced. He's played a ton of football, and so when people say, oh, well, maybe we can improve accuracy, we can improve ball placement, why hasn't it improved? And he's played so many games. I think this is kind of just who he is. And for as athletic as he is and his ability to escape and make plays on the run, I don't know if he's a true dynamic playmaker, like a Malik Willis, even like a Matt Corral, who I think instinctually just has better creativity in and outside of the structure and outside of the pocket. I think Desmond Ridder is a little more rigid as a player, and because of that, I don't think he has this type of skill set to really elevate what's around him. And so I think he's a guy who best projects as a game manager on a good team that could win you some games. But I don't think if he goes to a bad team that he's going to be winning many games on his sheer talent alone.
Yeah, I think that's fine though. Like I think there's an art to winning football games that's understated, especially for quarterbacks. They always say big time players make big time plays in big time moments. You just need this guy to show up for moments. That's the thing, and I do agree. You don't want him to be the truck on a very bad team, right? But look at the San Francisco 49ers, right? Jimmy Garoppolo, he tries to throw interceptions. You know what I'm saying? So look where they would be at times if he didn't make just some of those boneheaded plays. And I think that's where you see the frustration with Shanahan, right? Like, I need a guy that just knows how to win games. And Sean McVay had the same issue with Jared Goff, right? Jared Goff was a limited player, but it wasn't only that. It was the fact that he made key mistakes. And I think Desmond Ridder doesn't make very many mistakes. We've seen him go against top competition. Like, sometimes he was going to war. They had the guns, he had the knives, right? Like when he had to play Georgia and Alabama, but he still showed up. And guess what? He didn't help his team lose neither. But then he had one big game against Notre Dame, and he assisted in them winning. So I think there's a good situation for Desmond Ridder. And, man, just from the neck up, I really like his mental makeup and just that pedigree of being a winner.
And what Brittany said, can he improve on the accuracy? He can, and a lot of it's due to lower body mechanics. He gets elongated in his step. That first step that he makes to open his hips and throw, when he's too long, that ball placement goes. But when he's short, precise, and just sharp with it, he slings it, it's there, it's on the receiver's face mask, and you see it. It's just more so the inconsistency. I don't know if it's a muscle memory thing, but continue to work with, I think he's working with one of the Palmer brothers, Jordan, I believe it is. He's working with Jordan. So just get that consistency with him. I mean, you think about a team like the Tennessee Titans with what they've built over there, that offensive system and style, or even Atlanta, what Arthur Smith is trying to build over there. He's a fit for that type of offense, and then you just try to, again, watch him grow. See if he continues to progress and just find that consistency.
I guess my concern with, and I agree with a lot of what's been said at the table, but you talk about improving accuracy. 4-year starter at Cincinnati, accuracy's been an issue across 4 years. Yeah. Usually you would see incremental progress, and I think where Desmond Ridder has gotten better as a player has been the decision making and kind of the feel for getting outside the pocket and creating plays by using his legs. But that accuracy has always kind of been a sticking point on who Desmond Ridder is as a quarterback.
I think that within the last few years, that it has certainly been proven that guys can become more accurate, right? And instead of really looking at the accuracy, you kind of have to dig deeper and look at why he's inaccurate, right? It could be footwork, it could be not necessarily playing with great receivers on the outside that can uncover, right? But there's always a story behind why. But the fact that he takes care of the ball, he wins, and I think that's the most important statistic for a quarterback. And I've always said that he wins, and I think that those things paired with the fact that he's big, he's strong, he can extend plays with his legs, those things are going to make him attractive to NFL teams.
There's no question he has the intangibles, the approach, the demeanor, sweep teams off their feet. The only question left is how high he goes, and we're going to find out at the end of the month.